Good evening, precious people. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so very much. Thank you for joining me on Navigate with FFA. Thank you for all your encouragements. I see you. I see you. And I'm so, so grateful. Zambia, Kenya, Nigeria. Thank you so very much. I love you right back, right back, right back. Thank you. Thank you for joining me tonight. It's going to be fire, fire, fire. I'm telling you. Please, 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 I beg of you, share it right away with your friends, with your family members, with your colleagues, with different people. It's going to be amazing. Ireland. I see all of you, United Kingdom. Thank you, South Africa. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please, as usual, let me just give you a few minutes, a few seconds. Can you please share the link? Share the link. Share the link. Let's gather. It's a family night. So let's gather. Germany, I see you. If I don't mention your name, America, I see you. I see you. If I don't mention your name, please don't be offended. Is that okay? Let's bring more people in. Ooh, your first time. Thank you. Cameroon, I see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. My hairstyle, thank you. Life is sweet. Canada, I see you. I see you. Yeah. Only one life. If you live it intentionally, once is enough. Thank you. I see all of you. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Utah. Thank you. I've been to your country before, South Africa. Thank you. Thank you so very much, everybody. It's such an honor and privilege to have you here tonight. As usual, we have a few more minutes and then we'll bring our fiery speaker. Hey, that man is something else. France, I see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't say this thank you enough. Thank you for making this investment in yourselves. Thank you. Like, share, follow. Let's make this visible for everybody to be here. Navigate with FFA, giving meaning to living. That's our cliche, giving meaning to living. Thank you. From different parts of the world. I'm also excited. Thank you, Asaba Nigeria. Please like, share, and let's get on. Cyprus. Woo, woo, woo. It's getting, the family is getting enlarged. It's getting bigger and bigger. Botswana, thank you. Thank you. You're so beautiful. Thank you. You all are fantastic. Yes, giving meaning to living. That's why we're here. We want to navigate life. And we're going to continue to do this as the Lord strengthens us. Navigate with FFA, giving meaning to living. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you tonight. So, I have a few, Turkey, thank you. I see you. I have a few announcements tonight. Namibia, I see you. It's a global family. Thank you all. And I'll make this announcement also maybe in the middle and then at the end. So I'm going to make the announcement now and then I'll make it in the middle. I have good news and I always carry good news. I'm a good news carrier. So the first thing I'd like to say tonight is that I have FFA Executive Club. It's a close club. Washington, I see you. Enugu, I see you. Shagamu, I see you. Island, I see you. FFA Executive Club. Yes, that is what it is. Denmark, thank you. That is what it is. It is a club. And it is about positivity and possibility. Positivity, Tanzania, I see you, and possibility. So, we are a group of ladies. Well, not men, we have a few men, but ladies in particular. You know, I live and breathe women, womanhood. So, we meet online once in 2 months and for 1 year. After 1 year, you renew the subscription. It's been amazing. It's been amazing. FFA Executive Club. If you want to be a part of it, please send an email to info@Funke Felix-Adejumo, Spain, thank you, .org. info@Funke Felix-Adejumo.org. Please send an email, FFA Executive Club. You will be glad to be a part of it. It's amazing. We meet online once in 2 months. And then for 1 year, then you renew your subscription. It's not as expensive at all. And I mean at all. It's very, 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 very affordable. We just want to come together for positivity and possibility. So please be a part of this. Oh, I'm so excited. I need to get and yield the microphone to my guest. That's the first thing I want to say. And then June 2nd to June 4th in Akure, Nigeria, I'll be hosting a women's conference, a conference that is for women, but men also are invited. The Woman Conference. I've done that for 20 years. And we're going to be hosting 2 powerful women of God at Reverend Christy Pature and Reverend Fowowe Achudime, June 2nd to 4th in Akure, Ondo State. If you need any information, please, my technical team, my media team will be giving you the gist and as we go on. That's the second thing I like to say. I also like to say that I am a certified transformational coach. If you want an one-on-one service with me, you want to make an investment in yourself, I'll coach you. It will be my honor to coach you. So please go on my website. You will see the different coaching programs and mentoring programs that I have. info@funkefelixadejumo.org. Please, Mr. Williams, can you just pin that and let the people. Someone asking me for the email again. Thank you so very much. So I've said 3 things that I said. Number 1, the Executive Club, FFA Executive Club. Number 2, the Woman Conference will be holding. And then number 3, my coaching programs, coaching and mentoring programs. And let me say one more thing, and then we kick off. I'm excited. I'm using style to wait for you to tell your friends and even your enemies, if you have one, to join us tonight. It's going to be fire, fire, fire. If you are a Nigerian or you live in Nigeria, this is for you. Please go get your PVC. Election is gradually coming. We cannot just sit down and be praying and binding and loosing. No. Or go get registered with a party and become a card-carrying party member. You need it. Become a policy maker. Become an influencer. It's important that we get involved in the election that is coming. And even if you don't live in Nigeria, make sure you are involved in whatever country you're living. It's not only by prayer. We pray, but we must act. Please, it's important. Go join politics if you have to. Yes, so you have to register and then you renew after a year if you want to continue with me. FFA Executive Club. It's on. We meet once. I'm trying to answer your questions. Woo! I'm so excited tonight about this great man that we are hosting. Navigate with FFA. Tonight is hosting in this studio Mr. Praise Fowowe. He's a family life therapist. He's a family systems engineer. He's married with kids. I don't want to do too much of introduction. You can always follow him at I am Praise Fowowe. This man carries something. I'm very excited. Thank you so much. Okay, please, just a minute. Somebody's asking, what is FFA Club about, man? It is a club. It's about positivity and possibility. We come together. I share with you online. It's a virtual, club. We share together. You renew after 1 year, and then we go on. And once a year, it includes a lot of things. When you inquire, you will get the details. We go to one African nation once a year, and this year we're going to Mauritius. If some of you want to go with us, please get ready. We'll tell you about that. Usually I spend 10 minutes. I've taken 4 minutes out of Mr. Praise's time. Please forgive me. It's such an honor to have you here tonight. Thank you, FFA Executive Club. Stop distracting. Oh, let's get on tonight. Mr. Williams, please continue to answer the people. Thank you, Mr. Praise Fowowe. Such an honor. I like your cup.
Thank you, ma.
Please go ahead tonight. So let's kick off. Your work as a family therapist has given you opportunity to groom several people. So in your opinion, let's start from that, and then you just flow and roll on. What role does family play in shaping who we are? I have my pen.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ma. You've asked arguably not, I mean, without argument, the most important question that everyone needs to understand, because the most important nation on earth is a family, because the family is the production factory of the society. So oftentimes when people make statements like, oh, this is the best version of me, you know, I said to them, that's not the best version of you. That's the best version of you that your handlers have produced. Because when we were born into the hand of our handlers, your father, your mother, the hospital, you know, the people. Now, at the point at which you were born, one of the critical things that never happened was that the handlers did not pay attention to who you should be. They didn't ask the question from the seed owner, which is God, who should this child be? Now, from the time you were named, your name actually reflected their reality, not your reality. So you would find situations where, let's say your parents waited for like 10 years before they gave birth to you. The name they're going to give you will reflect their own reality. Now, and that's where it starts from. Now, the moment that happens, the next thing that begins to happen is you're going to be given their worldview, their behavioral pattern, which you would observe. So many of us are actually the PhD holder of the family system that produced us. Now, many a time, what people even call generational causes are generational patterns that we learn unconsciously by observation. So for every individual, in fact, there's an activity I do for people to help them restructure their life, which is basically to say, if your life were to be a building, right, what would your foundation look like? What is the makeup of your foundation? And what materials was used to construct your foundation? So you will realize that a lot of subjectivity has happened based on the way people were raised. From the time a child is born, even the questions we ask, when a child is born, the first question, especially if you are from the part of country where I grew up from, the first question they're going to ask you is male or female. If you said female, then they will tell the husband you are a lazy man. Your wife has defeated you. If you say male, they'll say, oh, wow, strong man. Now, that is where abuse comes from. It already determined the fate of the child, which is why I always say to people, if you were born at the point you were born, your parents gave you over to the king of Dubai, for example. Now, and you have lived with the king of Dubai for 20 years of your life. Who would you have become? Your language will be totally different from what it is right now. Your world will be totally different. Everything about you is going to be totally different. Now, the biggest challenge we have is that many of our families are not structured. Now, family is a nation. When you don't understand that you're going to damage a child. I mean, I have an interesting conversation. I just returned back from Canada where I went to see the family. Before my children were born, we wanted to run a family system. So we had a family vision, we had a family values, and we have the DNA creed and everything. Now, when I went this time around, my daughter called a family meeting and she said, oh, Dad, I mean, I'm looking at our vision before we were born. Now that we have grown, can we tweak this and be part of the making of a new vision? And my wife and I looked at ourselves and we said, well, they have earned the right to do that. So we sat down and the vision had to change based on their input. The values had to change based on their input. Now, unknown to many of us, your family can either make or mar you. So you hear consistently, I mean, I woke up with an idea in my head, you know, when people say, oh, there are bad marriages, because there is almost like a narrative that all marriages are bad. And I said to people, there is nothing called bad marriage. You only have one bad person or two bad people upsetting what should be a beautiful institution. Now, what people need to understand is that when everything we call bad marital system is nothing but ignorance. ignorance of self. Many people don't know who they are because they've been damaged by the people that raised them. Take, for instance, you were raised in a situation where your father beat your mother, or your father was lion of the tribe of the home, where you had no say. You would have already been conditioned to be subservient to other people. You would have been conditioned not to ask questions. So if you are a boy, for example, you were raised in an environment where your parents don't understand the value of raising a boy child, they will not allow you externalize emotion. So what happens is when you fall down and you want to cry, they'll say, don't cry, man up, keep quiet. You know, you're a boy. You go to school, they say, man up. If they beat you, they say, pay me, and things like that. Now, unknown to them, they have already scripted you to self-sabotage in adulthood. So what I find when people come and I'm running an assessment on them, what I'm finding from about 8 out of every 10 persons is what we call pseudo-personality. Pseudo-personality means that someone who is an extrovert had become introverted based on the conditioning or the significant emotional experience that has happened in his life. So by the time the personality of that person has changed, the real person is still inside. So it grows into adulthood. The child in him becomes angry with the adult he had become. So there is conflict within, which manifests as abuse in a relationship. So it manifests as bullying tendency, manifests as superiority tendency, which is actually inferiority complex, you know, so it manifests as that. So take someone who doesn't know who he is an extrovert, and become introverted, maybe by reason of abuse or what has happened to him, now coming to the marital table, wanting to marry someone else who has also lost touch with who they are. In fact, let me say this carefully. I found out that the typical firstborn in Africa usually suffer from pseudo-personality, because I do not know where parents got this ideology from, that because you are the first child, you must be the leader in everything. So they put a lot of weight and expectation on the shoulder of the firstborn child, and before you know it, it crushes the persona of that firstborn child. That's why you see a lot of firstborn ladies who are struggling to get married, because what they have been socialized to take responsibility for other people. So by the time they get into a relationship, they are trying to take care of the guy. He has no job. They give him salary. He has nothing. He has no car. They buy him a car. After a while, the guy begins to feel, by the time we get married, she's going to be the husband. So he checks out of the marriage. And they repeat that cycle consistently. So ignorance of self is number one. Number two is ignorance of your spouse. Now, a lot of people don't know who their spouse is. They have an idea of who they want the person to be. Now, I think that it is disgraceful for you to marry someone else, and then you now expect the person to measure up with the idol in your heart. Now, so you hear conversations like, now we are married, you have to stop your job. Why should I stop my job because I'm married to you? Because you're trying to paralyze me, because your sustenance or your identity is tied to your capacity to control me. You cannot stand the greatness. And if anybody cannot stand your greatness, the person is not worthy to be your husband or to be your spouse. Very clear. There is no apologies to it. Now, a lot of people, and I've found it, they are subjecting their greatness in the name of becoming Mrs. Somebody to someone who at best should be a mentee and not a leader. Now, and that takes me to the third thing, which is ignorance of marriage. Now, interesting, because marriage has not been properly defined by many people. Now, I say the marriage is the coming together of a man and a woman from two different nations to create a new nation that will promote the best interest of all and whose culture will give our world rest. Let me break that down a little bit. It now means that two people are coming from two different nations, two different families. Now, it's like you are a German as a lady. You're from Germany. Now, Germany is a developed country. Now, you want to get married. You are both even Christian. And that's why I said to people that the fact that the two of you speak in tongues doesn't even mean that you are equal yoke. Don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. An unbeliever is someone who doesn't believe what you believe. Simple. It's an English word. It's not a spiritual word. It means if I am a woman, I believe that everybody should cook. I'm dating a guy who believes that only a woman should cook. That's an unbeliever to me. Unbeliever doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that we are not the same tribe. We don't vibe at the same level. So he may find another woman who believes that only women should cook. That's fine for him. But we are unbelievers. That's unequal yoke. So when people think of unequal yoke, All they are thinking is Muslim, Christian. No, you can both be in the same church and be unbeliever. Now, so at the point of marriage, this guy is from a family where he's from a nation like maybe Mali or Togo, and a developing country. Now, by the virtue of developed and undeveloped countries, there are things you find out. The developed countries are developed because of systems. The undeveloped countries are undeveloped because of emotions. Now, and disorderliness. So here is what happens. The two of them may even meet in church and they want to get married. Now, God may even be involved, but God would expect, what God is thinking of is a new nation. So when they come together, everyone is coming to the marital table with debt, with liabilities and assets. Now, the lady who is a German is coming with organization, is coming with leadership, is coming with orderliness. Now, ideally, if the guy was smart enough, God has given a developed person to mentor him out of disorderliness, so that by the time they come together, they will create a developed nation, so that when the children come, they will learn by observation. But because he never saw his mother advise his father, what is going to happen is he's going to try to marry her, and he's going to try to pull a German down to become a Malian, so that she begins to malfunction and she's going to start having crisis. Now, so they do not sit down to say, what kind of country do we want to build? What kind of country do we want to benchmark? What is going to be our communication? What's going to be our vision? Which is another area. I mean, every time I do sessions for couples, it's amazing that people don't build foundation, but they are celebrating painting on social media as successful weddings. And after painting fades off, the lack of foundation begins to show up. Then they begin to fight themselves, and they begin to create violence everywhere, and it begins to look like marriages don't work. The proper work is the foundation, because your marriage is the reflection of the two of you. Basically, it's as simple as that. Marriage reflects the two people involved. So when they don't have a uniform vision, the moment I ask you and your husband to write your family vision and you are writing different things, then it means there are two visions within the family, which is division. You are holding each other, but you are heading in different directions. That is what they call friction. Now, after a lot of pulling and pulling, somebody will reluctantly follow, or somebody will break up and say, no, you know what? I'm tired. That's what they call divorce. So ignorance of marriage, that people don't understand what marriage is, it damages them. Then ignorance of building techniques. It's not enough for you to understand marriage. You now need to understand how to build. In building a marriage, you need to understand the place of your family vision, your marital values. You need to understand your marital purpose. Let me even dwell a little bit on that. Marital purpose is, why did I get married? I hear people, it's amazing when I do sessions and couples come and they're having crisis. And I ask that question. 9 out of 10 can answer that question because they've never discussed it. So you begin to hear things like, I married her because I've always looked for someone to take care of the home. That person needed a housekeeper, not a wife. I married her because I've always wanted someone to cook. He needed a cook, maybe Mama Cass, not a wife. I married her because, I wanted someone who's a good sex partner. He needed a prostitute, not a wife. Because when the concept of husband, wife, male, female is not properly defined, error is what is going to happen. And lack of that definition has created crisis. So let us unpack it from the foundation. Now, when you say male, when you say man is not male. Man is humanity. Man is now expressed in two gender, male and female. What that simply means is a male is a masculine representation or masculine expression of humanity. Female is the feminine expression of humanity. The only difference between the two is biology, which is their body. Now, what that means is, if you look at a woman and without hearing the content of her character and what she carries, you assume that you are superior to her, is one of the symptoms of mental health problem. Because, and that's why parents create an atmosphere wherein every boy or girl must be taught to have a vision, must be taught to have a passion, must be taught to self-develop, must be exposed to books and exposed to all kinds of things that can improve their life. Let me shock you. If with the two of them now come to the marital table, let's assume that husband is making $1 million at the point of marriage. Wife is making $1 million. What conversation would they be? You will be shocked. Many things that we fight over in Africa will not be in conversation we will not be having conversation about who will not be cooking when we get married. No, we can hire the best chef. Why should we start to an intelligent person with kitchen when we can actually, it's a poverty mentality that's causing those kind of conversation. If we can hire the best chef, why would we fight ourselves over who should cook or who should not cook? That should not be a conversation at all, because there are people who have been, in fact, almost all the cooking competition I've found, men are the ones who are winning. So if we go by that, most likely men are better cooks than women. So I do not understand why people are fighting over who should cook or who should not cook or whatever. But that's by the way. So building techniques, when people don't understand that marriage requires skills, it's not natural. So you need communication skills. You need to create an avenue where you talk about open day. Open day is the day in the family where it prevents pets of anger. Is the day where everybody is free to say what they want to say, the way they want to say it. The rule during open day is that nobody must get angry. Two, nobody must be defensive. If what is said is significant, you must change it, and whatever I said cannot be used. So I'll give you an example. When I got married, my first open day with my wife looked at me and said, "You irritate me." Now, open day, you are permitted to say anything the way you want to say. Why was I irritating her? She said I was always rushing my food. Honestly, I didn't know I was rushing my food. She said I was rushing my food and my cutlery was making noise. I was not taught to use cutlery growing up. So I had married someone who understands how to use cutlery. I didn't know I was rushing my food. Now, until she mentioned it, it did not occur to me that I mastered how to rush my food, because I grew up in a family of seven. I was number 6. Then I went to a school where people finish their food on time, came to join you to finish your food. So the survival strategy is to rush your food. So I started rushing my food from secondary school, that I kept rushing. I'd grown unconscious competence at rushing my food. That even when the enemies disappeared, I still had imaginary enemies who were still rushing my food with me. So I was rushing. So I had to say to her, I will adjust within the next 2 weeks. And I adjusted and I overcame that. Now, so if you don't create those avenues, I mean, if your father cannot talk to your mother, you will be insulted if your wife is talking to you. Who else should be in your corner to correct you, if not your wife? And that is why people, human beings, must now begin to get married, not things, because what we see right now is straight leg is getting married to a Jeep. Account balance is getting married to a bag. Those are the funny things happening because have not been prioritized to grow. And that is why family system become very, very important, because if we look at everything we don't like in Africa, there is a system producing them, and they are from the family. From a president who doesn't have emotions, to the man beating his wife, to the woman, who is showing somebody's nudes or fighting dirty, they are all products of a family. In fact, I woke up yesterday and I looked at Nigeria and I'm asking, don't we have elders again in the land? When I was growing up, they taught me that an elder cannot be in the market square and the head of a newborn baby will turn. But it's looking like a newborn baby is getting mad right now, and the elders are joining the madness, because somebody in a family should be able to call 2 warring parties together and to order, and they will defer to that person. But it's looking like there is nobody calling anybody to order anymore. And that brings me to what our parents used to do. Even though when we got born again, we now say don't do it again. Now they may have been doing it in the negative way, but the principle still holds true, which is when you bring someone you want to marry, your parents went to check their family out. Now, the process of checking it out may be wrong, but the principle is not wrong. What they are checking are patterns. Patterns are predictors of the future. That if we can look at what you do consistently, there's a high likelihood that you're going to repeat it. So, and patterns don't lie. If I observe your pattern, I can literally predict your future. So what we do now is boy meets girl anywhere. Say, let's get married. You have not checked the patterns, because those patterns are now the ones that now sabotage the marriages. So I've talked about ignorance of self, ignorance of your spouse, ignorance of marriage, ignorance of building techniques, and the last thing is ignorance of your enemies. Your enemies are not witches and wizards. The enemy is the person you see when you look into the mirror. So it starts from you. So if we don't begin to, which is what I do basically, to help families create a system that can produce a desirable outcome. And the easiest way I say it is this: the best parents, the most effective parents in the world today is ISIS and Boko Haram. And I'll tell you why. What they do is parenting. They pick a child put the child through their system, they don't pray that in Jesus' name, may this child become a terrorist, or in devil's name, may become a terrorist. But guaranteed, if that child stays there for 2-3 years, he will become a terrorist, guaranteed. What is the system they are put in place that is producing that output? This is what we do. We go to the market, we buy hibiscus leaf, we go get back home, we put it on fire, and we put water to it, we add sugar, then we add prayers to it to say, God, let this become edikaikon. Then we now expect to eat edikaikon when we're actually producing zobo. And that's why I say that prayer is a combination of your word, thought, and action. That's why God says, if my people are called by my name, one themselves and pray, forsaking their wicked ways is not a prayer point, it's an action point. You act yourself out of it. You cannot pray yourself out of what you behaved yourself into. And that is why we tell people that behavior is very critical in who you are going to become. So your parents could have damaged you by the things they did. Now, you can't blame them totally because they did the best they could with what they knew. They spanked you because that was how they knew how to correct. Nobody taught them communication because they grew up in the military era. But now that you are becoming a parent, you need to be intentional. My mother put me in the kitchen simply because my mother kept telling me that I do not want you to marry a cook. I want you to marry a human being. So I do not want you to enter marriage with the expectation that someone is coming to cook for you. If you learn how to cook for everyone, so I used to think it was wickedness. We will have a meeting, 26 people. They will ask me to pound yam for 26 people. They would ask me to cook rice, to cook stew, to cook everything for over 30 people. Now, when I got married, it was not a big deal. My son did not have to learn that men should cook. He observed and he thought it was normal to cook. The first time he knew that in some families men don't cook was social studies textbook, primary 3 in Nigeria, that says that the job of dad is to look for money, the job of mommy is to cook. That's an educational textbook. That was the first time he saw it, right? And he had to come home to check, to ask me, Daddy, what's going on here? This is wrong. And I said, yes, it is wrong. So many of us have become the PhD holder of the model in front of us. And that is why if your parents have not modeled the right life to you, then what you now need to do is adoption. You now need to look for a parent who does it right or a mentor who does it right and go and submit. I mean, there are ladies who come to me, you know, they've fallen out of 2-3 relationships, but I tell them, go and look for a mentor and go to their house and behave like a proper child. Go and sweep there. Go and lay bed there. Go and learn how to cook there. Go and learn how to do basic things that human beings should do, not because you want to be cooking for a man, but because you want to nurture yourself. And these are the critical things that when we put all of them together, we would realize that there is no nation that can change without the family, because every bad society we talk about today is a product of the system that is churning them out. You cannot talk about national corruption without family corruption. The moment husband and wife, somebody is giving money to external people without the permission or the knowledge of the other person, that's already looting. You are looting the family purse, but you are not aware. The moment somebody drinks in the family and wife says or husband says, stop drinking, and you say no, 3 children say, Daddy, stop drinking, you say no, unknown to you, election already held. 1 person was for drinking, 4 people were against drinking, but you continue to drink, which means in your family, 1 was already greater than 4. When you get to National Assembly, 4 will be greater than 19. So corruption started from the family. Men, in fact, there is another thing we don't observe in the family, which is scarcity mentality, which is the origin of poverty. So you have systems where everybody here will know the first time they stole from the family. Why did they steal? Daddy takes 6 meat while growing up. Mommy takes 4 meat. They now give small meat to a child. They now put a condition to it and telling the child that, you know, before you take this meat, you need to finish this food. So the child begins to wonder, am I a criminal? Why are they treating me like this? So everybody learns how to help themselves by going to the kitchen by themselves. Unknown to us, we have created a pattern of scarcity. Now, people with abundance mentality do not steal. So when we see the boy grows up, gets into National Assembly, he has 6 side chicks, 6 cars that he will never need, houses he will never live in. He started from the dining table mentality, which is what we have created. So basically, family is king. Family is the most important nation on earth. And that is where we need to get back to. Everybody now need to admit that maybe we don't know how to raise a family and begin to surrender ourselves to superior knowledge of nations that understand how to deploy family to create a new society. And once we begin to do that, we will begin to raise credible people who genuinely love, who genuinely respect, who do not care whether it's a female or male, that the best of us should lead the rest of all. I tell people everywhere I go, I defer to my wife in family finance. I can't pass maths to save my life. My wife, if you ask her since we have been married, how much have we spent? She will bring it out on Excel sheet. So she understands numbers. So she's my mentor in family life, because headship in the home doesn't mean you are the smartest, doesn't mean you are the richest. Headship means the servant leader that can create the enabling environment where everyone's potential can find expression. So in some areas, it's your child that can lead. In some areas, it's your wife that needs to lead. So let the best of us lead the rest of us to produce a robust family that can serve the best interest of everyone. Let me stop there and take any other question.
Jesus Christ. Oh, praise. You need to just pause and read the comments. What? Somebody said my mouth is widely open. so is mine. What a blessing this man is to our world and to our generation. Wow. Thank you. Is an understatement. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Okay. What question will I even want to ask you now? Okay. What is your advice to young people trying to navigate their way to the top in today's world? Praise, you are too much.
Now, I would tell them the easiest way is get mentored. And in getting mentoring, your mentor will test you. Don't give up. We have an entitled generation, and I'll give you my story because that will help you. When I left school, I was in Agape a bit, so I know Mommy Funke and all. I got to Lagos, and I left paid employment in 2003, and I wanted to be mentored by the best in the industry. And my mother would call me and say, "There's a man called Jerome. I should look out for him." Every time he was on TV, my mom would tell, "Go and get mentored by this guy." And I was looking forward to getting mentored by him. So I went to look for, Destar was organizing a meeting. So I went there and I got there and I saw that I was the one facilitating. 2 weeks before that time, I had started taking prostitutes out of prostitution, young girls who were prostituting, and rehabilitating them, taking them back home. So I did a big event called Valentine with Prostitute, which was on Channels TV. Apparently he saw it. I'd never met him. As I stepped into the meeting, this man was addressing the entire church. He paused what he was saying, looked in my direction, and you know what he said? He said, "This young man needs to be careful. He's growing too fast or else he's going to crash." That was very disgraceful for me. I felt like the heart should just open me. But I remember what my mother said to me. My mother always said to me, "Praise, when you want to get angry, the person you want to get angry with, always ask the question, do you need him or does he need you?" So I asked that question. Does he need me or do I need him? I'm the one who needs him. So during break, I went to kneel down beside him and I asked, "Sir, I am so sorry. I am a young talent growing. Can I be under your mentoring? Because there must have been things that you saw that you thought I needed to change." So he said I should come to his house. I got to his house. He asked me, "What do I want to learn?" I told him I wanted to learn how to do personality tests and blah, blah, blah. This man sent me to go and look for what they call ewa going. Ewa going is like overcooked beans. And the girls who sold it would have gone out around 9 a.m. But this was the man sending me to go and look for ewa going at 10:30. So I had to look everywhere, went everywhere, barefooted. For like 6 months, he kept running me on, sending me on errands. Go and buy this, go and do this, go and buy kerosene. It did not teach me a thing. But guess what? I persisted. Now, after about 6 months, he calls me into a room, gave me a book, and he said to me, "Praise, this book, you will not find it anywhere." He told me that I didn't even know he wasn't a Nigerian. He said he was going back to his country, Benin Republic, and that he's been looking for who will succeed him on all platforms, from Kneel Down with Fumi Yoda to Inside Out with Agatha to all his expression. He said, "Praise, I have dropped your name in all of them. I know you can step in for me." Now, if you do half of that for many of the people who claim they want to get to the top, they will get upset, go and tweet about you, call you wicked, and blah, 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 blah. And that's why it looks like many people are not rising at the level they need to rise. Now, I'll tell you another story. I was mentored by Dr. Miles Monroe. Dr. Miles was coming to Nigeria. I didn't have money. So I went online to Cyber Cafe, checked him out. I realized that he pastors a church in the Bahamas. I looked for what he will not have. I realized that they don't have talking drum. Went to Mushin, spent 800 naira from my salary, which was 15,000 naira way back, bought talking drum, went to National Stadium. They said I couldn't see. I just screamed, Dr. Miles. He said, come. I said, this is all I have. I've read all your books, and that was how we started a mentoring relationship. That will take me all the way to the Bahamas. I had to empty my account to go. So nothing comes cheap. This generation, you need to listen to me. It doesn't come free. You need to understand that mentoring, the goal of mentoring is formation. The goal of mentoring is not cloning. It's a relationship that has an entry and exit. And when you understand that, till now, I tell people, when I tell them I read minimum of 2 books every day, they don't understand how I do it. Because I have to keep myself consistently fresh. I can learn from anyone and everyone. Because when I was living Yola, a certain man called Bishop Makanto, Mommy Funke, you remember that I was serving in Yola when you came to preach for him in Yola. This was 2001. You came to Yola that year, Upper Room Chapel. He said something to me. He said, Praise, if you want to get to the top, be ready to take rubbish. I looked at him and I said, Bishop, why would I take rubbish from anybody? He said, be ready to take rubbish. So he gave me a story. He said there was a town that had a notorious cow. He said the cow would destroy everybody, disturb everybody. So the villagers gathered and they thought what they were going to do. So they dug a big well and threw the cow inside. And as long as the cow was there was peace. But after a while, the place where they dumped their refuse dump was becoming a mess. So they needed a new place. So they said, let us insult this cow more. So they went and threw their refuse on the cow, threw their water bin, everything on the cow. The cow would shake itself and step on it. The thing kept growing. Then one day the cow walked out. So it said to me that sometimes, the rubbish they throw at you is character building. So how you cannot determine what they do to you, but you must determine your response. So that's how to grow. So I kept all these messages in my mind. So if there was any program, I would go. So I'm going to say to all of you, find a mentor who truly knows where it's going and sit with that mentor, right? And ask the question. And I must say, never disturb your mentor on what your mentor has written in a book or taught in a CD. So those were the fundamentals we were taught. So if my mentor has answered the question in a book or has written a CD, then it was cassette. I bought everything. And in fact, there was a year I met Dr. Miles and I told him everything he had taught that year, from meetings in his church to meeting outside his church. He just opened his mouth and said, what's going on here? And I said, Dr. Miles, I'm a follower. I'm following you, right? So that's what I think can help, but I must say this. Don't seek mentorship until you find out who you are, because mentoring can also damage you. Because the moment the mentoring becomes tormentoring, you must learn to excuse yourself and find, because you can't afford to have a mentor who isn't secure as well. Your mentor must be secure in himself, right? So if you are being mentored by two different, and your mentor is worried and blah, 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 it becomes a problem. But you need to find yourself and you need to know yourself before you go for mentoring. But to find yourself, I would say find what makes you happy. H stands for your heart. What does your heart tells you that you are the best at? Can you write it down? S stands for your ability. What is so natural with you? Someone would say that God's plan is to pay you, to make you earn a fee for what you were created to do for free. So check what you can do effortlessly. I've been talking as a child. They will knock my head. My father will be talking to people. I'll be going there to join him to counsel them. He will send me away from the room and say, what are you doing here? Right? So what is your natural ability? That's A. P is your personality. If you answer the first two questions, H and A, you check your personality. There's a reason why you're an extrovert. Don't try to be anybody. When I got born again, the first problem I had was I noticed that everybody was born again was quiet. So I thought that quietness was holiness. So I began to pray, God, make me quiet, make me quiet, make me quiet. And one day the Holy Spirit said to me, I will never need you to become any other person for me to do what I need to do with you, right? And so I began to, enjoy my extrovertedness. Some people will call it carnality. I don't care, right? So your personality, there's a reason God gave it to you. The next one is P, your passion. What are you passionate about? What is it that when you do it, you don't remember about food, you don't remember time? I'm talking right now, I didn't even know that we spent 50-something minutes. I can do this till tomorrow, right? You need to find everything that you can do effortlessly is marketable. And Y stands for yesterday. Don't waste your pain. What happened in your past? What pain have you been through that you don't want others to go through? Now, don't waste your pain. Don't moan over it. Don't say they mess up my life. No. What I say to people is very simple. Your life is a best-selling story, ending towards a happy ending. Every pain you have been through are the suspense in the movie of your life. Everyone that hurts you are characters recruited to act their role. If you look at how well they acted that role, they acted it very well. You should be saying thank you to them. So keep moving in the direction because the actor never dies. And you are the actor. So you name your movie whatever you want to call it.
Oh my God.
So your yesterday is very, very important. Hone it, hone your shame, wear it as a badge, and put yourself out there. I think if you do that, you will get to the top within the shortest possible time.
Oh my God. I'm just dancing here. The actor, the star never dies. Woo! Praise. You must come back. They're already putting it in the chat box. Please bring him back. Somebody said you should run for presidency. Oh my God. My body is shaking. Oh my God. Kisses. Different things. The actor doesn't die. The star does not die. Oh, thank you. Whew. We're going to rewatch this and again and again. Praise, you are coming back. Please, you are coming back. Just before we round off tonight, it's been amazing. Let me say this. I just started a club. It is called FFA Executive Club. If you want to be a part of it, it's not free, but it's cheap. If you want to be a part of it, it's an online club. We meet once in 2 months. I'm in your place, I'm in your space. And then I share with you. After 1 year, you renew the subscription. And once a year, we go to an African nation. If you're a lady and you want to be a part of going to Mauritius in November, please indicate. Go on my website, you will find it there, or send an email to info@funkefelix-adejumo.org. And then I have a conference that holds every year in Nigeria, the Woman Conference. It's going to be from 2nd of June to the 4th of June in the city of Akure. Please be a part of that. I'm also a transformational coach, a certified one. If you want me to coach you, please go on my website and you will see the different mentoring programs and coaching programs I have. Mr. Priest is going to tell us about, yes, I'll bring him back. People are already pleading, I should bring you back. I'll bring him back. Just, you have my word on that. Yes, in his final words, he's going to tell us because he has some very, very impactful. You see, free is a trap, so make investment into your life. He's going to tell us the things he does. I know a lot of you will need this thing. If you're in Nigeria, go get your PVC. Election is coming. Go join a party. Be a card-carrying member. Let's not just sit down. Did you hear what Mr. Praise just told us about prayer? It's not only sitting down and then praying and praying. Please be a part of this. It's going to be amazing. If you want to go with us to Mauritius, ladies' time out with FFA, please. You have some details that the team is putting together for you. Go on my website, you will find all this there. Who for inquiries? So you see, it's right there. The club is for women. Well, we have some men. It's not only for women, it's for men. Also, FFA Executive Club. Please, for all your inquiries, just send an email to that is on the screen. Okay. Mr. Praise, you're going to tell us how we can be impacted in your engineering programs and the different programs that you have. I've known you for ages and you are such a blessing. I cannot deceive you.
Thank you.
So please, some people need coaching in some areas, some people need help. You're going to tell us about that. And then, if there was only one thing, so after you have told us about how we can be coached or mentored by your system, you'll answer this question. Oh, how can you watch this program again? It will be on my YouTube channel, Trust me, you can start watching it as soon as we are done now. It will be there on the YouTube channel. So praise, if there was only one thing you hope the people in the audience today do as a result of our conversation, what would it be? That would be your parting remark. But please tell us about how your system can be a blessing.
Okay, thank you very much, Mommy. Well, I presently live and work in Dallas, and I'm building a family life innovation hub in Dallas, Texas. But I run a certification program. So if you're listening to me, you want to get certified as a family life professional, I run a certification program called Family System Engineering Certification Program. I mean, what makes it unique is it's data driven. You don't need to sit down with people to know what is wrong. Once you administer your psychometry, you can pick what is wrong, 98% accurate. If you want that, I mean, if you go on my website, if you are within Africa, I am praisefowowe.com. You will see FSEC, it's called Family System Engineering Certification Program. You can, I mean, we have I think the next course is in June, so you might want to join, or you can get on my social media, Instagram, I am praisefowowe. You can just slide into the DM and ask questions. We have many of those things. If you are in North America or outside Nigeria, my website abroad here is praisefowowetech.com. Fowowe ends with a D, then tech.com. But you can also send a mail, praisefowowwe@gmail.com. Basically, what I'm doing here, and I mean, I was in Waterloo, working with people. What we're doing here is to now build villages for Africans, teaching Africans how they can parent successfully. That is very, very critical, because what I say to people here is every time Americans come to Africa, I don't hear them call themselves immigrants, or we don't call them immigrants. We call them expatriates. Why should it be that when we come here, they just call us immigrants? And immigrants, is used derogatorily because we came with a brain, we came with solutions. So everywhere I go, I introduce myself as an expatriate, not an immigrant. So we are trying to show them methodologies and templates of scripting the future of their children. So I have a program on parenting. So if you go to impressforward.com/script icon, you can register for that. I mean, I'm sure my team is somewhere there. They'll put all the links there, that you need.
Yes,
and that can help you. Then we're also taking responsibility for African children in diaspora, also in Africa, called Ready for Life, which is basically a 3-semester program in a year where your child comes to class, ages 8 to 18, comes to class once in a week, and we have mentors with an intentional curriculum. What we say is if evil can be conditioned, good can also be conditioned, basically. So we have all those things on the website. You can go there, or you can follow me on Instagram. Now, if there is one thing I want you guys to do, very tough question that Mommy has asked, but I would answer it this way. The whole world thinks that they know how you should live your life. Everyone thinks they have an opinion of how you should stand, how you should sit. I hear Mommy talk a lot, and I see some comments, and I'm smiling where I am. They think they have an idea, right, about who you are. They don't know you, right? But it will be worse off if you don't know yourself. So if the whole world gathers together and they call you who you are not, will it make you happy? Will it make you sad? If it makes you sad, then that's exactly who you are, right? Because oftentimes I hear people say they call me useless. Useless is a combination of 2 words, use plus less. If you flip it, it becomes less used. It's not an insult, it's an announcement that they don't have the capacity to maximize you. So you no longer become upset about who you're not. So if there is one thing I want you to do, find you and live out you. Become a human being, not a human thing or a human doing. Be you, be brilliant, be free. Go through life and live it, right? Don't get to your deathbed and wish you had lived. Live life. You will make mistakes. You will learn from your mistakes. They are the suspense in the movie of your life. Don't let it define you. Just keep moving. And like Ron Kennedy says, if you catch hell, don't hold it. If you're going through hell, don't stop. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. We'll see you at the top. Thank you very much.
Oh my God. Ooh, the little baby, the little girl in me is just coming out tonight. Woo, woo, woo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The Lord bless you, keep
Amen.
you, honor
Amen.
you, preserve you in the
Amen.
name of Jesus. Somebody is
Amen.
asking, I want you to mentor me, Mr. Praise. Please go and follow him on his social media handles. I am Praise
Praise
Fowowe.
Fowowe. Yes.
Yes, I am Praise. And then you have the links there. And this particular show will be on YouTube. Whoo! Thank you.
Thank
What
you,
a
ma'am.
blessing you are. Next week, Tuesday, the topic is let's talk about sex. Woo! Let's talk about sex. There is this lady that writes only about sex. In Punch, you will find her in newspapers. You'll find her online talking about sex. Yes, people hardly. Have you ever gone to a church and then the pastor says, or a mosque, and then the imam says, the topic of our discussion today is sex? Everybody. So the topic for next week, Tuesday, Navigate with FFA, is sex. Whether you are single or married, whether you are divorced or separated, as long as you're a human being, next Tuesday we want to dissect it. We'll dissect sex. Thank you all for joining me from around the world. We're so grateful for Praise Fowowe, so fantastic a speaker. Navigate with FFA every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Nigerian time. I love you all. Remember to go sign up for FFA Executive Club. We meet once in 2 months online. And then you ask me questions. I'm vulnerable. You network. You rejuvenate. You meet with other people from around the world. We've started, but you can join. If you join in June, then it will lapse in June and you can renew again. So people are joining and we have started meeting. FFA Executive Club. Go on my website or send a mail to info@funkefelix-adejumo.org. Also, if you want to be a part of Ladies Time Out with FFA in November, send a mail also or call that number that is on the screen. I also have the Woman Conference, June 2nd to the 4th this year. Please join me. And if you're a Nigerian, go get your PVC. I love you all. I'll see you again next week, Tuesday. Navigate with FFA. Thank you, media team. Thank you so very much. I truly appreciate you. Thank you, everybody. Navigate with FFA, giving meaning to living. Mwah, mwah.